Lisa Grant stared at the red warning lights flashing across her command center screens. The same message had been blinking for 3 months now. Enemy ships surrounded Kepler Station. Their weapons were pointed at her home. At her people. She rubbed her tired eyes and looked out the thick glass window of her office. Space should have been beautiful. The stars should have been peaceful. Instead, 50 alien warships floated in the darkness like metal sharks waiting to strike. Their hulls were dark green and covered in sharp spikes. They looked like something from a nightmare. The Vorthic Empire had come to Kepler Station with one simple demand: leave, get out. This was their space now, they said. It had always been their space. The humans were just visitors who had stayed too long. Lisa had been the colony administrator for 8 years. She had watched this place grow from a small mining outpost to a real home. 1,000 families lived here now. Children played in the gardens. People had jobs and friends and lives. This was not just a place where humans worked. This was where they belonged. The door to her office opened. Jake Morrison walked in carrying 2 cups of coffee. He was the chief security officer and her closest friend. His face looked as tired as she felt. "Any word from Earth?" he asked, setting a cup on her desk. Lisa shook her head. "Nothing. The message drones we sent out 3 months ago should have reached the core worlds by now. But help is still weeks away, maybe months." Jake sat down in the chair across from her desk. "Our shields are holding at 60%. The Vorthek tests them every few hours with small attacks. They're not trying to break through yet. They're just wearing us down. How many people did we lose in today's attack? 12 injured. No deaths this time. Dr. Carter has them all stable in the medical bay." Lisa nodded. Amy Carter was the best doctor in the outer colonies. She had saved more lives in the past 3 months than Lisa could count. The woman worked 18 hours a day and never complained. "What about our defense ships?" Lisa asked. Jake's face grew dark. "We have 6 patrol ships left. They're fast but not built for real fighting. The Vorthak have 50 warships. Each one is bigger than our entire defense fleet." Lisa stood up and walked to the window. She could see the closest Vorthak ship floating just outside their weapon range. It was massive. Its hull was covered in gun ports and missile tubes. She had seen what those weapons could do to a human ship. "It was not pretty. The children are scared," she said quietly. "Parents keep asking me when the grown-ups from Earth are coming to help. What do I tell them?" "You tell them the truth. Earth cares about its colonies. Help is coming." "But what if it's not?" Lisa turned away from the window. "What if Earth decides that one small colony is not worth starting a war over?" Jake stood up and walked over to her. "Then we fight anyway. These people trust us to protect them. That's what we do." A loud beeping sound came from Lisa's desk. She rushed over and hit the communication button. The face of Lieutenant Commander Tony Williams appeared on the screen. He was the captain of their defense fleet. "Administrator Grant, we have a problem. The Vorthek flagship is moving closer. Admiral Zexthal is sending us a message." "Put it through," Lisa said. The screen changed. Now she was looking at an alien face that gave her nightmares. Admiral Zexthal looked like a giant lizard with too many teeth. His eyes were yellow and cold. When he spoke, his voice sounded like metal scraping against stone. "Human administrator, I grow tired of waiting. Your people have had 3 months to leave our space. You have not moved. You have not obeyed. This shows disrespect." Lisa straightened her shoulders. "This is human space, Admiral. We have legal claims to this system. We have families here. We will not abandon our home." The alien admiral made a sound that might have been laughter. "Your Earth government is far away. Your ships are small and weak. You have no power here. I am giving you one final chance to show wisdom." "I'm listening," Lisa said, though she did not want to. "You have 72 hours. Load your people onto ships and leave. Take nothing but what you can carry. If you are still here when the time ends, we will destroy your station and everyone on it. This is not a threat. This is a promise." The screen went black. Lisa stared at the empty monitor for a long moment. 72 hours. 3 days to abandon everything they had built. 3 days to destroy 1,000 dreams. Jake put his hand on her shoulder. We can't evacuate everyone in 3 days. We don't have enough ships. I know, Lisa said. And even if we did, where would we go? The nearest human colony is 4 weeks away. We don't have supplies for that kind of journey. So what do we do? Lisa looked out the window again. The Vorthak ships were beautiful in their own terrible way. They moved through space like they owned it, like they had always owned it. But humans had been living on Kepler Station for 15 years. Children had been born here. People had died here. This was home. We fight, she said. We send out every message drone we have. We tell Earth what's happening. We tell them that humans are about to die unless someone comes to help us. And if no one comes? Lisa was quiet for a long moment. Then we make sure the Vorthak remember this place. We make sure they know that humans don't give up easily, Jake nodded. I'll tell the defense fleet to prepare for battle. I'll also start moving the children to the safest parts of the station. Gooder than Jake? Don't tell anyone about the 72-hour deadline yet. Let people sleep tonight. Tomorrow we can start preparing them. Jake left the office. Lisa sat down at her desk and started typing. She had messages to send. Dozens of them. Every human colony in range would hear about what was happening at Kepler Station. Someone had to care. Someone had to come. She thought about the children sleeping in their beds. She thought about the families who had trusted her to keep them safe. She thought about the people who worked in the mines and the gardens and the schools. They were all counting on her. The coffee Jake had brought her was getting cold. She took a sip anyway. It tasted bitter, but it helped her stay awake. She had work to do. Messages to send. Plans to make. Outside her window, the Vorthak ships waited in the darkness. They were patient. They were deadly. They were sure they would win. Lisa Grant looked at her reflection in the dark window. She was 43 years old. She had gray hair and tired eyes. She was not a soldier or a hero. She was just a woman who had been given a job to do, but she was also the person standing between 1,000 innocent people and 50 alien warships. That made her the most important person in the Kepler system. She went back to her keyboard and kept typing. Somewhere in the darkness between the stars, help might be coming. It might be days away or weeks away. It might not be coming at all. But until she knew for sure, Lisa Grant would keep fighting. She would keep hoping. She would keep protecting the people who trusted her, because that's what humans did. They never gave up. They never stopped trying. Even when the odds were impossible and the enemy was stronger, humans found a way to survive. The Vorthak would learn that lesson soon enough. 18 hours had passed since Admiral Zexthal gave his final warning. Lisa Grant had not slept. She sat in the command center watching the countdown timer on her screen. 54 hours left. 54 hours until the Vorthak would start shooting to kill. The station felt different now. People moved faster through the hallways. Voices were quieter. Everyone knew something bad was coming. Lisa had told the colony about the deadline that morning. She had tried to sound strong and confident, but she could see the fear in there. HFY Dr. Amy Carter walked into the command center carrying a medical pad. She looked as tired as Lisa felt. Her red hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, and her clothes were wrinkled from sleeping in the medical bay. "How are our people holding up?" Lisa asked. "Scared but brave," Amy said, sitting down next to her. "The children are asking a lot of questions. The adults are trying to act normal, but everyone is worried. I've had to give sedatives to 12. People who couldn't stop shaking. Any word from the defense fleet? Tony Williams is doing what he can. His ships are spread out around the station, but they won't last 5 minutes against those Vorthak warships." "We all know it," Lisa nodded. She had been a colony administrator for 8 years, but she had never faced anything like this. She dealt with mining accidents and supply shortages and arguments between neighbors. She was not trained to fight a war. The door opened and Jake Morrison rushed in. His face was excited in a way Lisa had not seen for months. "Lisa, you need to see this. We're picking up something on long-range sensors." "Something big." Lisa stood up so fast her chair fell over. "Earth ships?" "Please tell me it's the fleet from Earth. I don't know what it is. The signatures are strange." but something is definitely coming our way. Fast. Lisa followed Jake to the sensor station. The technician on duty was a young woman named Beth Taylor. She had been working on Kepler Station for 3 years and knew the equipment better than anyone. "Show me what you found," Lisa said. Beth pointed to her screen. 3 contacts, very large. "They're coming from the direction of Earth, but their energy signatures are wrong. These aren't normal fleet ships." "What do you mean wrong?" "The power readings are off the charts. Higher than anything I've ever seen, and they're moving faster than should be possible. They'll be here in 6 hours. Lisa felt her heart start to beat faster. Could they be new Earth ships? Something secret? Maybe. But there's something else. The computer tried to match these signatures with known ship types. It found something, but the files are classified way above my security level. Jake leaned over Beth's shoulder. "Can you get around the security?" "I can try, but it might take time." "Do it," Lisa said. "We need to know what's coming." Amy stood up and walked to the window. "Whatever they are, the Vorthek have noticed them too. Look." Lisa looked outside. The alien ships were moving. For 3 months they had stayed in the same formation, patient and steady. Now they were spreading out and turning to face the direction the new contacts were coming from. "They're scared," Amy said quietly. "I've never seen them move that fast before." Beth's fingers flew over her keyboard. "I'm into the classified files. Oh my God. What is it?" Lisa asked. "The computer identifies these ships as the UES Retribution, UES Vengeance, and UES Reckoning. They're part of something called the Terran Death Fleet." The room went silent. Lisa had heard that name before. Every human in the galaxy had heard whispers about the Death Fleet. They were the ships that had ended the Centauri War 15 years ago. They were the reason aliens feared humans. "That's impossible," Jake said. "The Death Fleet was disbanded after the war. The ships were destroyed. According to these files, they weren't destroyed. They were classified as missing in action. The entire fleet disappeared right after the war ended." Lisa felt cold. "Missing for 15 years. Where have they been?" "I don't know." "But they're coming here now?" The communication system started beeping. Lisa walked over and hit the button. The face of Admiral Zexful appeared on the screen. The alien looked angry and worried at the same time. "Human Administrator, your government has made a mistake. They have sent forbidden ships to this system. Order them to leave immediately." "I don't know what you're talking about," Lisa said. "What forbidden ships? Do not lie to me. The Death Fleet approaches. Those ships are banned from civilized space. They carry weapons that violate every treaty. They are crewed by war criminals and murderers." Lisa tried to keep her voice steady. "I don't control any fleet. I'm just a colony administrator. Then you will die with the rest when those ships arrive. The Death Fleet knows only destruction. They will kill everyone in this system, human and Vorthak alike." The screen went black. Lisa looked at Jake and Amy. Both of them looked as confused as she felt. "Are we being rescued or are we about to die?" Amy asked. Before anyone could answer, the sensors started screaming. Beth looked at her screen and her face went white. "They're here. 3 ships just dropped out of hyperspace. They're massive." Lisa rushed to the window. At first she saw nothing but stars. Then the darkness seemed to move. 3 shapes appeared where empty space had been a moment before. They were ships, but unlike any ship she had ever seen. The Death Fleet vessels were black as night and covered in scars. They looked like they had been through 1,000 battles and survived them all. Their hulls were strange, with parts that seemed to fold and unfold like mechanical flowers. They moved through space like predators, smooth and deadly. "They're beautiful," Amy whispered. "They're terrifying," Jake said. Lisa could not stop staring. The ships were huge, each one bigger than any 3 Vorthik warships. But it was not their size that made her afraid. It was the way they moved, like they owned the space around them. Like they had been born to kill. The largest ship, the one in the center, was sending out a signal. Beth's fingers moved over her. "Controls. It's an old Earth military code. Very old. I can barely translate it." What does it say? It says Death Fleet actual to Kepler Station. We received your distress call. Prepare for combat operations. Lisa felt her legs get weak. Combat operations? Against the Vorthak? There are 3 of them and 50 Vorthak ships, Jake said. This is going to be a massacre. Yes, said a new voice. It is, everyone turned around. A woman stood in the doorway of the command center. She was tall and thin with short gray hair and cold blue eyes. She wore an old Earth military uniform that was black as space. Her face was hard and scarred like she had seen too much war. How did you get on the station? Jake asked, his hand moving to his weapon. I walked through your airlock. Your security is not very good. The woman stepped into the room. I am Admiral Kate Sullivan. I command the Death Fleet. We are here to help you. Lisa stared at the woman. How did you get here so fast? Your ships just arrived. We have ways of moving that your people do not understand. Time is short. The Vorthak will attack us soon. I need to know if you want our help. Of course we want help, but can 3 ships really fight 50? Admiral. Sullivan smiled. It was not a nice smile. We have fought worse odds. We have burned entire star systems. We have made alien empires beg for mercy. 50 Vorthak ships are not a problem, Amy stepped forward. The Vorthak admiral said you were war criminals. He said you carry forbidden weapons. He is correct. We do carry weapons that are banned by treaty. We are war criminals by the standards of civilized space. But we are also the only thing standing between you and death. Lisa looked at the admiral. The woman's eyes were cold as winter, but there was something else there. Something that might have been sadness. What do you want in return for helping us? Nothing. We help humans because we are human. That is enough. And after you save us, what then? Admiral Sullivan looked out the window at the Vorthak ships. Then we disappear again. We return to the darkness where we belong. The galaxy will forget we were ever here, but we'll remember, Lisa said. Yes, you will remember, and maybe that will be enough. The communication system started beeping again. This time it was not the Vorthak calling, it was someone else. Someone human. Death Fleet actual, this is Earth Command. You are ordered to stand down immediately. Return to your last known position and prepare for arrest. Admiral Sullivan walked over to the communication panel. She hit a button and spoke in a voice like ice. Earth Command, this is Admiral Sullivan. We do not recognize your authority. We answer to no one but ourselves. Death Fleet out. She turned off the communication system and looked at Lisa. It seems we have burned our bridges with Earth. There is no going back for us now. Why? Lisa asked. Why would you risk everything? For strangers. Because someone has to. Because the galaxy is full of predators and humans need protectors. Because we swore an oath long ago to defend humanity, even if humanity no longer wants us. Outside the window, the Vorthak ships were moving into attack formation. 50 warships against 3. It should have been hopeless, but Admiral Sullivan was smiling her cold smile again. And Lisa realized that maybe, just maybe, the Vorthak were the ones who should be afraid. Admiral Kate Sullivan stood in the command center of Kepler Station looking out at the Vorthak fleet. Her cold blue eyes counted the enemy ships one by one, 50 warships. Each one armed with enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Most military commanders would call this an impossible fight. Kate Sullivan was not most commanders. Lisa Grant watched the admiral with growing concern. The woman moved like a predator, calm and focused. But there was something else in her eyes. Something that looked like old pain. Admiral, Lisa said carefully, can you really fight 50 ships with just 3? Kate turned away from the window. We have done worse. But first, you need to understand what you are asking for. When we fight, we do not fight clean. We do not follow the rules of civilized warfare. We fight to win, no matter the cost. What do you mean? Kate was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was distant, like she was remembering something she wanted to forget. 15 years ago, the Centauri War was ending. The alien coalition had developed a weapon. A virus designed to kill every human in the galaxy. Men, Women, children, all of us. They were going to release it on Earth. Amy Carter stepped forward. I remember reading about that. The report said the threat was stopped before it could be used. The reports were wrong. The threat was real. The virus was already loaded onto ships heading for human worlds. Earth Command gave us orders to stop it, by any means necessary. Jake Morrison looked confused. But you won the war. You saved Earth. Yes, we won. But the price we paid was higher than anyone knew. To stop the virus, we had to destroy the ships carrying it. But those ships were hidden in civilian populations. The aliens thought that would protect them. Kate walked to the other side of the room. Her hands were shaking slightly. We destroyed 17 star systems. Not just the military. Targets, everything. Planets full of civilians, families, children. We turned entire worlds into ash and radiation. The room went silent. Lisa felt sick to her stomach. How many died? Billions. We saved humanity by becoming monsters. After the war ended, Earth Command wanted to pretend it never happened. They wanted to quietly retire us and forget what we had done, but we could not forget. We could not go back to normal life. So you disappeared? Amy said quietly. We went into exile. We took our ships and left human space. We have been hiding in the dark places between stars ever since, waiting, watching, protecting humanity from the shadows. Lisa tried to understand what she was hearing. You've been out there for 15 years, alone? We are not alone. We have each other, and we have our duty. The galaxy is full of threats that Earth Command does not see. Pirates who prey on human colonies, alien slavers who steal human children, governments that plot against humanity. We deal with these threats quietly. Jake looked suspicious. Why should we trust you? You just admitted to killing billions of people? Kate's eyes turned hard. Because I am telling you the truth. Because I am giving you a choice. You can die with clean hands when the Vorthok destroy this station. Or you can live knowing that monsters fought for you. The communication system started beeping. Beth Taylor, the sensor technician, looked at her screen with worry. It's the Vorthok flagship. Admiral Zexel wants to talk. Lisa nodded. Put him through. The alien admiral's face appeared on the screen. His yellow eyes were filled with hate and fear. Human administrator, you have made a grave error. The Death Fleet must leave immediately. They are criminals. They are banned from civilized space. Kate stepped in front of the screen. Admiral Zexel, I remember you. You were at the Battle of Zarian Prime. You watched us burn your allies to ash. Did you think we would not remember? The alien's face went pale. You are Kate Sullivan. The Butcher of Zarian. You are supposed to be dead. Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Just like reports of my fleet's destruction. Kate's voice was calm but deadly. You have attacked human civilians. That was a mistake. We have done nothing wrong. This is Vorthok space. The humans are trespass. Wrong, this is human space. These are human people. And you are about to learn why the galaxy fears us. Admiral Zexel leaned forward. You cannot win. I have 50 ships, you have 3. Even the Death Fleet cannot overcome such odds, Kate smiled. It was a cold, terrible smile. Would you like to make a bet on that? I will give you the same choice I gave your friends at Zarian Prime. Leave. Now and live, stay and die, you have 30 minutes to decide. You are bluffing. 3 ships cannot defeat 50. Admiral, you have seen my work before. Have I ever bluffed? The alien was quiet for a long moment. Lisa could see the fear in his eyes. Finally, he spoke. Even if you win, Earth Command will hunt you down. They will execute you for your crimes. Earth Command has been trying to find us for 15 years. They have failed. We are ghosts, Admiral. We exist in the spaces between their maps. We are the darkness that protects the light. The screen went black. Kate turned to face the people in the command center. He will not leave. His pride will not let him. The Vorthok believe that retreat is the same as death. They will fight. Lisa felt her heart pounding. What happens now? Now we prepare for war. But first, I need to know something. Are you willing to let us fight for you? Are you willing to be saved by monsters? Lisa looked around the room. Jake was staring at the floor. Amy was biting her lip. Beth was watching her screens with wide eyes. These were good people, innocent people. They did not deserve to die because of alien politics. What choice do we have? Lisa asked. You always have a choice. You can evacuate what people you can and run. Some of you will die, but some will live. Or you can stay and let us fight. All of you will live, but you will have to live with the knowledge of what we do to save you. And if we run, the Vorthek will hunt you down. They will kill you slowly. To make an example, other alien empires will see that humans can be pushed around. More colonies will be attacked. More people will die. Lisa closed her eyes. She thought about the children sleeping in their beds. She thought about the families who had trusted her to protect them. She thought about the 1,000 people who called Kepler Station home. We stay, she said. We fight, Kate nodded. Then you should know what you are about to see. My ships carry weapons that violate every treaty Earth has ever signed. We use tactics that would make professional soldiers sick. We show no mercy to our enemies. Will you hurt civilians? We do not target civilians. But if they get in the way of our mission, they will die. War is not clean. War is not fair. War is about survival. Amy spoke up. What about the Vorthak who surrender? There will be no surrender. We will destroy every ship in their fleet. We will leave no survivors to carry word back to their empire, except one. Why one? Because fear is a weapon. One survivor can tell the story of what happened here. Other alien empires will hear the story and think twice before attacking human colonies. Jake looked up from the floor. You really are monsters. Yes, we are monsters. But we are your monsters. And sometimes, monsters are exactly what you need. The sensor alarm started screaming. Beth looked at her screen with panic. The Vorthik fleet is moving. They're forming attack formation. All 50 ships are targeting the Death Fleet. Kate walked to the window. Outside, the alien ships were spreading out like a net. Their weapon systems were charging. Energy was building in their gun ports. It begins, Kate said quietly. Everyone on this station should find shelter. What you are about to see will stay with you for the rest of your lives. Lisa grabbed Kate's arm. Admiral, what if you lose? What if 3 ships really can't beat 50? Kate looked at her with those cold blue eyes. Then we die. But we will take as many of them with us as we can. And Earth will know that the Death Fleet died protecting human lives. That's not very comforting. Comfort is not what we offer. We offer survival. Nothing more, nothing less. Outside the window, the Vorthik ships opened fire. 50 alien warships sent their fury across space toward 3 human ships. The battle for Kepler Station had begun. Kate Sullivan smiled her terrible smile one more time. Now you will see why the galaxy fears humanity. The first wave of Vorthak weapons hit the Death Fleet ships like a storm of light and fire. 50 alien warships fired everything they had at the 3 human vessels. Energy beams that could melt mountains. Missiles that could crack asteroids. Plasma bursts that turned metal into gas. Lisa Grant watched from the command center window, expecting to see the Death Fleet ships destroyed in seconds. Instead, she saw something impossible. The human ships seemed to drink in the enemy fire. Their black hulls glowed with absorbed energy but did not break. The weapons that should have torn them apart only made them stronger. Where the alien beams struck, the ship's armor seemed to grow thicker and darker. What's happening? Amy Carter asked, her voice barely a whisper. Admiral Kate Sullivan stood calmly at the window, watching the battle like she was watching a sunset. Reactive armor. The more energy they put into us, the stronger we become. We learned this trick from studying alien technology 15 years ago. Jake Morrison stared at the impossible sight. But that's against the laws of physics. Physics is just another rule to break when you're fighting for survival, Kate said. We stopped caring about laws and rules a long time ago. The Death Fleet ships began to change. Their hulls unfolded like metal flowers blooming in space. Gun ports opened. Weapon systems that had been hidden inside the ship's armor emerged into the light. The vessels grew from sleek predators into instruments of pure destruction. "Those weapons," Beth Taylor said from her sensor station, "they're not showing up on any of my databases. What are they?" Kate's eyes were cold as winter. Things that should not exist. Things that we built in the dark places between stars. Things that Earth Command would execute us for possessing. The UES Retribution, Kate's flagship, fired first. A beam of energy that looked like concentrated starlight reached across space and touched the Vorthic flagship. The alien ship did not explode. It simply stopped existing. One moment it was there, massive and threatening. The next moment there was nothing but expanding gas and the terrified screams of the other Vorthic crews. "Dear God," Amy whispered. "God has nothing to do with this," Kate said. "This is pure human ingenuity. We took the laws of physics and made them our servants." Admiral Zexvel's voice came over the communication system. He sounded like he was drowning in terror. All ships, all ships. Retreat formation now." But it was too late. The UES Vengeance and UES Reckoning had flanked the alien fleet. Their weapons carved through the Vorthic ships with surgical precision. Each shot was calculated to create maximum fear. Ships split in half with their crews still alive. Warships turned inside out, their hulls peeling away like flower petals. "They're not just destroying the ships," Jake said with horror. "They're making sure the aliens see every detail of how they die." Kate nodded. "Fear is a weapon. If you want your enemies to surrender, you have to show them that resistance is worse than death." Lisa could not look away from the battle. It was beautiful and terrible at the same time. The Death Fleet ships moved through space like dancers, their movements perfectly coordinated. They fought with an efficiency that was almost artistic. Every shot hit its target. Every maneuver was perfect. "How many people are on those ships?" Amy asked. "The UES Retribution has a crew of 800. The others have 600 each, all volunteers, all exiles. All willing to die for humanity." "What kind of people volunteer for this?" Kate was quiet for a moment. "Broken people. People who have seen too much war. People who can never go home again. People like me." The battle was not lasting long. The Vorthak fleet was being torn apart ship by ship. Their advanced technology was useless against weapons that should not exist. Their superior numbers meant nothing against an enemy that had learned to fight without rules. "Incoming message," Beth said. "It's from one of the Vorthak ships." "Put it through," Kate ordered. A new alien face appeared on the screen. Not Admiral Zexvel, but a younger Vorthak officer. His eyes were wide with panic and his voice shook as he spoke. "Death Fleet, this is Captain Morthuk of the cruiser Vengeance of Stars. We surrender? Please, we surrender." Kate looked at the screen with no emotion. "There is no surrender in this battle, Captain. You chose to threaten human civilians." "The choice has consequences, but the rules of war. The Geneva Conventions. You cannot simply murder prisoners. The Geneva Conventions apply to civilized warfare. This is not civilized warfare. This is extermination." The screen went black. Kate turned to face the people in the command center. "You should not watch the rest of this. It will give you nightmares." But Lisa could not look away. She watched as the Death Fleet ships hunted down the surviving Vorthak vessels one by one. They showed no mercy. They took no prisoners. They left no survivors except one. The last Vorthak ship was Admiral Zexvel's personal cruiser. It was damaged but still functional. The Death Fleet ships surrounded it but did not destroy it. Instead, they forced it to dock with the UES Retribution. "What are they doing?" Jake asked. "Something necessary," Kate said. "Something that will save human lives in the future." 20 minutes later, the Vorthak ship undocked from the Retribution. It was clearly damaged and barely spaceworthy. But it was alive. It began to limp away from the battle zone at sublight speed. "Why did you let them go?" Lisa asked. "Because Admiral Zexvel has a story to tell. He will return to the Vorthak Empire and tell them what he saw here. He will tell them that the Death Fleet is real. That we are still out there, that attacking human colonies means death. Amy looked sick. How many Vorthak died today? 49 ships. Approximately 30,000 soldiers. All of them died quickly and cleanly. We are not cruel when we do not need to be. And Admiral Zexthal? Kate's expression grew darker. He will live, but he will never be the same. My Marines paid him a visit while his ship was docked. They made sure he understood the consequences of threatening human civilians. What did they do to him? They showed him what human soldiers can become when they are no longer bound by human morality. They showed him what we are capable of when we stop pretending to be civilized. A communication system beeped. This time it was not the Vorthak. Calling, it was Earth Command. Death Fleet, this is Admiral Harrison of the Earth Defense Force. You are ordered to surrender immediately. You have violated 14 interstellar treaties and committed acts of war against a recognized alien government. Kate walked to the communication panel. Admiral Harrison, I remember you. You were a lieutenant when I was fighting the Centauri. War, you sat in safe offices while my people died for Earth. You are war criminals, Sullivan, you and your entire fleet. Surrender now and face justice? Justice? Kate laughed, but there was no humor in it. Where was justice when Earth Command ordered us to burn civilian populations? Where was justice when you sent us to do the dirty work and then pretended we did not exist? You had your orders, you chose to exceed them. We chose to win. We chose to save humanity. And you chose to make us into monsters and then abandon us. You will answer for your crimes. We answer to no one but ourselves, and to the humans we protect. Kate turned off the communication system. She looked at Lisa and the others. Earth Command will send ships to arrest us. They will try to bring us to trial for war crimes. But they will not find us? We are ghosts? We exist in the spaces on their maps marked "Here be dragons." Where will you go? Lisa asked. Back to the darkness. Back to the places between stars. We will watch and wait. And when humanity needs us again, we will come. Amy stepped forward. What about us? What about Kepler Station? You are safe. No alien empire will attack this system for a generation. The story of what happened here will spread. They will call it the Kepler Massacre. They will use it to frighten their children. And you're okay with that? Kate looked out the window at the debris field that had once been the Vorthak fleet. I am okay with human children sleeping safely in their beds. I'm okay with human families living without fear. That is all I have ever wanted, even if it makes you monsters. Especially because it makes us monsters. Someone has to be the monster so that others can be human. Someone has to do the terrible things so that innocents can keep their hands clean. Lisa felt tears on her cheeks. Thank you. Do not thank us, remember us. Remember that when the galaxy becomes dark and dangerous, there are humans out there who will do anything to protect their own. Remember that monsters can be angels, if they serve the right cause. The Death Fleet ships were already turning away from Kepler Station. Their mission was complete. The threat was ended. Time to disappear back into the void. Will we see you again? Jake asked. Kate smiled her cold smile one last time. Pray that you do not. Because if you see us again, it means that something terrible is threatening humanity, and we will have to become monsters once more. The 3 black ships vanished into hyperspace, leaving only wreckage and silence behind. But the people of Kepler Station would never forget the day that humanity's dark angels came to save them, the day they learned that sometimes the greatest acts of love require the greatest acts of darkness. 3 days had passed since the battle. The wreckage of the Vorthak fleet still floated in space around Kepler Station like a graveyard of twisted metal and shattered dreams. Lisa Grant stood at her office window, watching the salvage crews work to clear the debris. The sight should have made her feel victorious. Instead, it made her feel sick. The Death Fleet was gone. They had vanished into hyperspace the moment the battle ended, leaving only silence and the smell of burned metal. But their presence still haunted the station. Everyone walked a little differently now. Everyone spoke in quieter voices. They Were alive, but they were changed. Dr. Amy Carter knocked on Lisa's door and entered without waiting for permission. She looked exhausted. Her red hair was messy and her medical uniform was stained with blood and sweat. "How are our people?" Lisa asked without turning from the window. "Physically, they're fine. The station took minimal damage. No one was seriously hurt." Amy sat down heavily in the chair across from Lisa's desk. "But mentally, it's a different story." "What do you mean?" "I've treated 37 people for anxiety attacks in the past 3 days. 12 children are having nightmares about the battle. 6 adults have asked me for memory suppression drugs because they can't stop seeing the Vortex ships being destroyed." Lisa finally turned away from the window. "We're alive, Amy. That's what matters. Is it? Look at us, Lisa. We're traumatized by our own rescue. What does that say about what we witnessed?" Before Lisa could answer, Jake Morrison walked into the office. His face was grim and he carried a datapad in his hands. "We have a problem," he said without greeting them. "Earth Command is sending ships to arrest the Death Fleet, but they're also sending investigators to question us." "What kind of investigators?" "Military police. War Crimes Tribunal. They want to know everything about what happened here. They want to know if we helped the Death Fleet in any way." Lisa felt her stomach drop. "Help them? They saved our lives." "That's not how Earth Command sees it. They consider the Death Fleet to be enemy combatants. Anyone who aids them is guilty of treason." Amy stood up, anger flashing in her eyes. "Treason? We were about to be slaughtered by alien warships. The Death Fleet was the only thing that stood between us and extinction." "I know that, you know that. But Earth Command sees it differently. They're saying we should have evacuated instead of accepting help from war criminals." Lisa walked to her desk and sat down. "When will the investigators arrive?" 2 weeks. "Maybe less. They're traveling on fast ships." "And what happens when they get here?" Jake looked uncomfortable. "They'll want to interview everyone who had contact with Admiral Sullivan. They'll want to know what she said, what she did, what weapons her ships used. They'll want to build a case against her, even though she saved us. Especially because she saved us. Earth Command is embarrassed. The Death Fleet was supposed to be dead and buried. Having them show up and win a battle that Earth's regular fleet couldn't even reach makes the military look weak." Amy paced back and forth across the office. "So what do? Lie to protect the people who saved us?" "We tell the truth," Lisa said firmly. "We tell them exactly what happened. We tell them that the Death Fleet arrived when no one else could. We tell them that Admiral Sullivan and her people died for us." "Died for us?" Jake looked confused. "They didn't die. They left." "Did they?" "As far as anyone knows, the Death Fleet was destroyed 15 years ago. As far as the official records show, they never existed. If Earth Command wants to pretend they're still dead, then they're dead." Amy stopped pacing. "You want us to lie to the investigators?" "I want us to protect the people who protected us. The Death Fleet sacrificed everything to save human lives. The least we can do is keep their secrets?" The communication system started beeping. Lisa hit the button, expecting to see Jake's face or maybe one of the station engineers. Instead, she saw Admiral Kate Sullivan. The woman looked the same as she had 3 days ago. Cold blue eyes, gray hair, a face that had seen too much war. But something was different. She looked tired in a way that went deeper than just needing sleep. "Administrator Grant, I hope you are well." "Admiral Sullivan, I thought you were gone." "We are. This is a recorded message, sent through channels that Earth Command cannot trace. It will play once and then delete itself." Lisa looked at Jake and Amy. Both of them moved closer to the screen. "Why are you contacting us?" Lisa asked. "Because you need to know what comes next. Earth Command will send investigators. They will ask questions. They will want to know about us." "What should we tell them?" Kate was quiet for a moment. "Tell them the truth. Tell them that the Death Fleet came when no one else could. Tell them that we saved human lives. Tell them that we disappeared into the void and that you do not know where we went. That's all. That is enough. Do not try to protect us with lies." The truth is protection enough. Earth Command cannot prosecute ghosts. Amy leaned forward. Admiral, what you did for us, ... The price you paid ... Golquos was worth it. Every human life is worth it. Every child who sleeps safely in their bed is worth it. Do not feel guilty about what we did. Feel grateful that you live in a galaxy where humans will do anything to protect each other. Jake spoke up. What about the Vorthek? What about Admiral Zexthal? Kate's expression grew darker. He reached his home system yesterday. He is alive but changed. He has told his government what happened here. The Vorthek Empire has issued a statement declaring all human colonies to be under the protection of, quote, the Demon Fleet from the Void. The Demon Fleet? It is what they call us now. The name will spread. Other alien empires will hear it and fear it. No alien government will attack human civilians for many years to come. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. How many years? A generation. Maybe more. The story of Kepler Station will become legend. Alien parents will tell their children about the day 50 warships died to protect one human colony. They will learn that humans never abandon their own. And you're okay with being demons? Kate smiled her cold smile. We have been demons for 15 years. We have learned to find peace in the darkness. We have learned that sometimes the greatest love looks like the greatest hate. Amy wiped tears from her eyes. Where will you go now? Back to the void. Back to the places between stars. We will watch and wait. And when humanity needs us again, we will come. How will you know when we need you? We will know. We hear every distress call. We see every threat. We are always watching. The image of Kate Sullivan began to fade. Remember us not as monsters, but as guardians. Remember that in the darkest places of the galaxy, humans stand ready to protect their own. Remember that love sometimes wears the face of war. The screen went black. The message was gone, deleted as promised. But the words remained. Lisa looked at Jake and Amy. When the investigators come, we tell them the truth. We tell them that the Death Fleet saved us. We tell them that Admiral Sullivan was a hero, even if Earth Command calls her a war criminal. Especially then, history will judge who was right. Not the politicians who make the laws, but the children who grow up safe because someone was willing to break those laws. 2 weeks later, the investigators arrived. They asked their questions and took their statements. They wrote their reports and filed their complaints. They declared the Death Fleet to be enemy combatants and placed bounties on their heads. But the people of Kepler Station knew the truth. They knew that when the galaxy was dark and dangerous, 3 ships had come out of nowhere to save them. They knew that Admiral Kate Sullivan and her crew had chosen to be demons so that others could be angels. And in the years that followed, as the story spread throughout human space, children would look up at the stars and wonder if the Death Fleet was still out there. Parents would tell them yes, probably they were. Somewhere in the darkness between worlds, humanity's guardians were waiting and watching. The aliens learned to fear the void. They learned that attacking human colonies meant facing the Demon Fleet. They learned that humanity's greatest strength was not its technology or its numbers, but its willingness to sacrifice everything for its own. And in the deepest parts of space, where no maps marked safe passage, 3 black ships continued their eternal patrol. They were the price of peace. They were the cost of protection. They were the darkness that kept the light burning. They were human. Lisa Grant never saw Admiral Kate Sullivan again, but she never forgot her words. In the darkest places of the galaxy, humans stood ready to protect their own. And sometimes that was enough to keep the monsters at bay. Sometimes being human meant being willing to become something else entirely. Sometimes the greatest love required the greatest sacrifice. Sometimes demons were exactly what the galaxy needed.